cold Monday morning. It's the 8th of June, and our main conversation is just about to begin. Now, Komfo Teaching Hospital, as we all know, it is one of Ghana's most important referral facilities. And at this very moment, it is in the center of a major controversy. Now, doctors, they've declared a strike following the suspension of the hospital's CEO, that is Akuetteh, raising serious questions about leadership, governance, due process, and the impact on patient care. So, is this simply about the suspension of one individual, or does it reflect deeper concerns within the health system? What does this mean for the thousands of patients who rely on Komfo every single day? So if the strike action is still ongoing, for people who are listening to us right now who may be on their way to the facility, are they going to receive any, health care? So this morning, we want to speak to the chairman of the Komfo Doctors Association. We want to understand, the reasons behind the strike, the concerns of the doctors, and of course the way forward. Now, please stay with us. Don't tune off. Stay with us for this very important conversation about the future of healthcare delivery at one of Ghana's most vital medical institutions. By the way, what do you have to say about the statement that was issued to suspend healthcare delivery to patients at the accident and emergency, leading to the suspension of the CEO, culminating to the strike action by health workers as we speak? Now, from the time they released the statement, the doctors released a statement saying that they were going to embark on the strike. A lot of events have happened. We know that there's a statement from the Ministry for Health. I have a copy of that statement. We shall be perusing it as well. But I want you to take a listen to this because the Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amokohene, engaged with union leaders yesterday, and he shared with us some of the things that they discussed from the very meeting. Take a listen to him.
And on his direction, then take steps to see how best we can have these issues resolved. So we came to meet with the union leaders to get their perspective and see how best we'll be able to resolve it. Thankfully, we've reached a resolution. However, they will make the communication themselves. So I'm sure that in the course of time, they'll do that communication. Once they do the communication, then we'll carry that from there. But I want to assure the public that Ashanti region is central when it comes to health delivery. But we carry the burden of both the northern, the middle, and the Ashanti itself. So if we have our only tertiary hospital breakdown in this manner, then most definitely it's going to affect us. So we're taking all the steps in making sure that these issues are de-escalated, most importantly. Because once it lingers on it, the patient will suffer. So that we'll be able to have that. So I want to thank the health minister, the union leaders for their cooperation in this whole issue, and thank the RCC team for joining us in this resolution. So we'll communicate the resolution to the health minister. The union leaders will also come out, then as soon as possible, we implement the issues thereof.
All right, so Dr. Michael Leat is with us in the studios of Love 99.5. He is the chairman for the Komfo Doctors Association. For short, they call it KATH. Doc, good morning to you.
Good morning, David, and good morning to your listeners.
I trust you're well.
I'm good.
Why the laughter?
It's been a stressful week for us doctors, for our colleague nurses, and all the other kind of staff within the Komfo Teaching Hospital. It's, a decision that was very hard to take.
The decision to go on strike?
Yeah, okay. Very, very hard to take. But we felt it was important we take that decision.
We'll delve into the reasons why you embarked on that strike action. But we just heard the voice of the regional minister saying that, well, he engaged with the union leaders. I'm sure you being the leader or the chairman for KATH, you were in that very meeting. How would you say the meeting went? And are we supposed to hear a pronouncement from you? Because he says it was fruitful. Yeah.
So we met the unions, Ghana Medical Association, Ashanti Regional Division, the Ghana Registered Nurses Association, Nurses and Midwife Association, the Ashanti Region branch, and then KATH. So we met the RCC led by the regional minister together with the regional health administrator, the mayor, and other members of the team. So they sought to really understand what the issues were, not just to do with what is in the media. And so we really went down into what the issues are. That when professionalism is being attacked, we don't. It has nothing to do with any person. It is, I think he being a doctor, having having worked in the emergency sector, really understood what we were talking about. And the issues we raised about the various hospitals around Kumasi and then Ashanti region, they told us steps, and steps were far advanced to kind of enriching the hospitals within the Ashanti region. And then the coordination amongst the various hospitals to do what we call reverse referral, like what we did in the. So we thought it was a very fruitful discussion.
And the reverse referral means simply that, for example, somebody has been treated, like let's say Tafo Hospital, instead of admitting the person, after, so Tafo refers the patient to Kofanochi. The patient is taken care of, but it's not admitted for long at Kofanochi, but it's taken back to Tafo. We'll be delving more into all that. But he also says that we should be expecting a communication from you soon. Is that to say that you're going to call off the strike action because he says it was fruitful? So
we are leaders of a group, and the decision is.
So look, can we have a spot of music? And I understand we need to work on Dr. Leat's microphone. Let's take a spot of music. Of a technical glitch we had to fix. I'm sure that we are good to go now. So I was asking that, listening to the regional minister, I'm having the vibe that, well, everything is fine, you're going to call off your strike, and so we should wait for a communication from KATH, for example. Is that what we should expect?
Well, so what we informed the RCC and the regional minister was the fact that, yes, we represent a group, and meeting us doesn't mean we carry the voice. I mean, like, we have the power to say yes or no. We needed to present what has been presented to the executive, to the General Assembly, and that's what we did. In fact, we had a meeting yesterday, and we're deliberating on things as to what to do next. And then we heard another release from the Ministry
for Health, yes.
And I might say it really turned everybody off.
So, if I understand you correctly, when you met with the regional minister, it was fruitful. You were contemplating to call off the strike because you've had some fruitful deliberations.
It's not to call off the strike, but to, you see, we are dealing with intellectuals. We are dealing with people, professors, some older than us, and as a leader, when a group takes a decision, it's the group, you are representing the group, whether you agree with them or not, the majority that you represent. So. Ours was to present what has presented to us, which we felt was good. Let the General Assembly decide.
Okay.
What is the next step? What do you think we should do? Is this to call off? Is this to suspend? Is this to wait? So that's what we told them.
So after that meeting with the regional minister, when were you going to communicate to your team members and then by extension to the public? So
after the meeting with the minister, we had a meeting at 7 p.m. A Zoom meeting, well attended by over 180 doctors.
Okay.
Where we had this discussion. So it was in the course of the discussion. I mean, the discussion, I must say, was positive. It was frank, open, and positive.
When you say positive, what do you mean positive?
We were considering the steps both the board had taken and the confirmatory board, and then what the RCC, with the minister as the head, the steps they are taking to see that we come to a very fruitful,
compromise of a sort,
So that is what we were. But the statement, I don't know.
So I have a copy of the statement here. And if I may just quickly run our listeners through. So the Ministry of Health finds the turn of events at the Kofanochi Teaching Hospital, that is KATH, unfortunate. where members of the Konfanochi Doctors Association and Nurses chapter there have embarked on a strike action following an administrative decision taken against the Chief Executive Officer, that is the CEO, Dr. Pakwesi Beidu, of the hospital for non-compliance with established administrative procedures relating to the closure of a public health facility. It moves on to say that the decision to suspend the CEO of KATH, who is an appointee of His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama, was carefully considered and taken in the interest of institutional accountability, patient safety, and the need to uphold administrative discipline within the health sector. It is important to place on record that the suspension arose from the public announcement of cessation of admission into the accident and emergency unit, which is inconsistent with the directive of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana regarding access to emergency healthcare services. Now, for the avoidance of doubt, this has nothing to do with the internal arrangements agreed between the hospital and the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate. Further, he was suspended from the administrative head of the hospital and not as a medical officer of the hospital. Now, it will be recalled that during the State of the Nation address, His Excellency directed all public health facilities to ensure that patients seeking emergency care receive the necessary attention and are not turned away under any circumstances. Now, the ministry is concerned that this directive was disregarded when the Chief Executive Officer announced the closure of the Accident and Emergency Center of KATH without prior authorization from the KATH Board and the Ministry of Health. Moving on, it says that the suspension of the CEO is therefore an administrative measure intended to facilitate an independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding the closure and provide remedies going forward. Now, the ministry acknowledges the concerns of staff and emphasizes that dialogue and established dispute resolution channels remain the best path to addressing grievances. Stakeholders must work together to ensure that grievances are addressed promptly and fairly while safeguarding the continuous delivery of healthcare services to the public. Now, the action is not intended to punish efforts aimed to protecting patients. Rather, it seeks to ensure accountability, proper communication, and adherence to national health policies and directives. Now, the Ministry of Health recognizes the long-standing operational challenges facing the Accident and Emergency Center of KATH management, has responsibly to ensure the safety of both patients and staff. However, decisions with significant implications for emergency healthcare delivery, particularly at a major tertiary referral hospital, must follow established protocol and be coordinated with the ministry and other relevant authorities. It must be emphasized that since assuming office, the Minister for Health has been working tirelessly to address long-standing challenges within the health sector and improve healthcare delivery across the country. So key interventions undertaken by the ministry include the continuous retooling of major hospitals to improve service delivery. I don't know whether Konfanochi is being retooled. Moves on to say the introduction of a national bed management system to enhance patient referrals and bed allocation. I don't know whether Konfanochi is benefiting. Preparatory work towards operationalizing the National Emergency Center at Burma Camp, North Kumasi. Efforts to complete and operationalize selected Agenda 111 hospital projects and the establishment of cath labs at KATH, Kolibu Teaching Hospital and Tamale Teaching Hospital to strengthen specialized healthcare services. And plans are far advanced to establish National Accident and Emergency Center in Accra, North Kumasi. All right, so that's the statement, and I can go on and on and on, but I think that I can pause here. What about the statement through off board, the conversation you were having with your doctors?
Okay, so with our engagements with the Konfanochi board and then the RCC, what we get is the fact that the board, if the minister says the board was not aware of the decision, and then the RCC wasn't aware, I mean, that is.
And I picked up some information also on late Friday evening that says that even before that statement from the hospital signed by you came out, that you were suspending admissions of patients to the accident and emergency, the regional minister was in the known, true or false?
Yeah.
He was in the known?
Yeah.
Through a letter?
No. So let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
Konfanochi is almost always overwhelmed. I've reached out to a lot of friends in the media to really take a look, because patients are not supposed to be next on the floor. You get to a place like the emergency unit, the whole capacity is about 32 or so.
We'll say 37.
37.
As of the last time, then it was 61.
Yeah. And then you go and have about 60 patients, 34 in ambulances waiting. People still calling to come in. I mean, in any internationally recognized institution, any properly trained health professional, see, I always say we are guided by ethics and laws. Our practice is not just what you decide to do. There are laws. You first of all have to save lives. You don't cause harm by you save lives. So any decision you take, let's say as a CEO at that point, he had operated for almost like 8 hours or so, and the board members were called to see what was happening. So what was the decision? All the stakeholders, the emergency physicians, the regional health administration was informed. And there are minutes to that meeting where most all the hospitals within the Ashanti region were contacted to how best we can solve this. Because do you take the person, wait in ambulance, and the person dies, and then you have another committee like a research committee? No. How do we save the patient? How do we help the staff? Mind you, if I'm not healthy, I can't treat you. If I'm overwhelmed, I can't treat you. And we have what we call mass casualty incident. You can have one patient in a hospital, but it can be termed as a mass casualty incident. That is, you don't have the ability or the capacity to take care of that patient. At that point, we had what we call a mass casualty incident. How do you manage a mass casualty incident? You involve all the other hospitals. Look, hospital A, if you are referring it, what is the problem? You are linked to Dr. A. Do this, do that, and when things are settled, then you can refer. You refer somebody to Konfanochi. Okay, we've stabilized the patient. We think the patient can come back to you. And that was what was done. And within 8 to 12 hours, everything had come down. And I keep on hearing the president directive was not to turn anybody away. I wish one person, there's some evidence to support that at least some patient A came to Konfanochi and was turned away. Nothing of sort happened. What we expect is, if you want to challenge principles of practice of medicine, this is not about Dr. Bedu. It is about the principles of practice of medicine. If this is what we teach, if this is what is expected based on evidence, and then we use it and you want to
so would you are you suggesting that the strike was not necessarily about the suspension of KATH CEO?
It's engineered. I mean, that is what
that triggered
the whole thing, because he took a decision based on evidence.
And like you said a while ago, it was not necessarily his own decision.
No.
And it wasn't like people were not informed. The regional minister, but what was his response when he was informed about this?
So, I wouldn't be able to. If I don't we met, we didn't ask him about it. But from the meeting, you realize he was in the know.
Okay.
He was aware.
And the board was also in the know.
Yeah, the board was.
So how come then the board was directed to serve KATH CEO with the suspension for 2 weeks?
So when we met the board, yes, I think the regional minister or the minister oversees the activities of the board, and the board appoints Dr. Akuetteh. And in his accession, in the minister's accession, Dr. Akuetteh had heard. So that is why he was authorizing the board, and that he quoted some act to give him that suspension. So for us, it is, yes, what the CEO, the decision taken by the CEO together with the regional health administration, it's not a breach of. He's not breached anything.
Because like you're saying, no patient or person was turned away,
no,
even during the announcement of the suspension.
No patient was turned. So if the minister has somebody, you see, and we expected that, look, even if you said you were not informed based on practice A, B, and C, what is his target? Is it that patients should just be crowded, confined, or patients should be treated? Are we to save lives, or are we to just keep the patients in the hospital, and it will seem as if we are seeing them? Mind you, we have had instances where people have died in ambulances.
Yeah.
You see, we always say that if you are in a hospital and you are being referred, whoever does the referral calls, and we tell you this is our situation. There is a video trending on social media about a doctor, a nurse somewhere in the UK, that tells you that, look, we have flaws in our system, because if you have proper national bed management situation, once you pick a phone to call Confanoche, able to flag that, look, Confanoche is full. So you don't, it's even out of the question. And this is done, he mentioned some hospitals in the UK that had done same. So it's not out of way for
a facility to communicate that I'm full. We'll come back to the conditions under which you work and how that impacts the healthcare delivery of patients. We'll come back to it. But perusing the statement released from the Ministry for Health, and before I even read some portions again. So after your meeting with the regional minister yesterday, you had your own meeting where over 150 something doctors were on a Zoom meeting, and you were making a headway to find an amicable solution. And this statement came to trigger things. Yeah. Now, looking at this statement, for example, it talks about the fact that dialogue is the way to go. So, point 8 says the ministry acknowledges the concerns of staff and emphasizes that dialogue and established dispute resolution channels remain the best path to addressing grievances. Would you say that you have adhered to this?
So, I'll first of all throw that question to the minister.
And the minister, you mean health minister?
The health minister,
okay.
Yeah. So, if he's indeed really the leader he wants to be, a leader who is for both the staff that provide services and for the patient. Yes, we have written that, in fact, we wrote to the board and copied you, that this is what we think. If he thought dialogue was the way to go, what prevented him from
dialoguing with you?
With us, than to go to the Labour Commission. Because, of course, he is the employer. You see, David, if you are in a house with your child offends you and you go straight to the police station. No, you talk to your child first. So I don't get where this dialogue thing is coming from.
Talking about dialogue and talking about Labour Commission, correct me if I'm wrong, you are the chairman for the Confanoche Doctors Association, and you have been invited by Labour Commission to appear before them, true or false?
Yeah.
When are you supposed to meet with them?
So, well, I must say I also saw the letter in the social media. I have not received a hard copy, and somebody called me, social media on WhatsApp, but
so you have not been served directly.
Yeah, so maybe I'll go into the association's email today and see. But I've seen it in social media.
What the one you saw in social media? What does it say? What does it mean to you?
So what it means is under the labor laws, we've reached. For an essential service, if you want to take an industrial action, that steps you need to. Yes, we are not. The Labour Commission is within its rights. We don't challenge that. Yes, we will meet them. Not Michael Lee did not take the decision. It is a decision of an association. So yes, and there are steps. We are taking steps to meet the Labour Commission.
Is that also going to worsen the situation? That is, if they make it official to you, because you were saying that upon meeting with the regional minister, you were okay. Now the statement, a release from the health ministry, has triggered a few more emotions and all that. Is this going to worsen the situation?
Well, like I said, the Labour Commission is within its right. They are acting the way they are supposed to act. What my concern is, my employer reported me to the Labour Commission. I don't think the Labour Commission took the decision on its own. Your employer, who happens, which is the Ministry of Health, led by the minister, reported us. So now come back to say dialogue. I mean, it doesn't fit for me. Like,
so as we speak, doctors are still on strike.
Yeah.
Nurses are still on strike.
Yeah.
So patients who are at Confanoche right now, not just the accident and the emergency, the whole Confanoche.
They are being seen. Patients are being seen.
By who?
People, doctors and nurses. You see, I always say that when we say doctors go on strike, I don't know if it should be fair to us. Nobody. We don't. Yesterday, I was in the hospital. I've been in the hospital throughout the week. People are operating. I'm the HOD of the orthopedic unit. My CSSD is not working. I'm making sure it works. We are working.
So when you say you're on strike, what exactly are you holding on?
So, you see, we are empathetic. So if somebody is brought, seriously, you can't turn the patient away. It is, but you have your own strike. People have been coming to Confanoche, and I've been seeing they are not turned away. And the Regional Health Administration has also empowered the other hospitals that, look, this is a situation we have in KATH. just like the way we did with that overcrowding. They are still doing that.
So help me understand. And this is you. That is you. They also have a few questions, but before they come in, so when you say you're on strike, I just want to understand. You're saying that you're seeing patients, yet you say you're on strike. So what services have you withheld right now?
So we are not admitting new patients.
So when a new patient is brought to Kofanochi, that person will be turned away.
I would say turn away. See, so when you have dire emergencies, I mean, that is what happens. There's public know that, doctors are on strike. Of course, the normal OPD will not run. But your other colleagues in the other hospitals will call you. There's this dire emergency. People are still there. People are trooping in. You can walk through the hospital now. The minister and the RCC, they were there yesterday, and they saw what was happening.
So would you say it's a symbolic strike of sort?
What is a symbolic? What do you mean?
I mean, the wording is saying that you are on strike.
Yes.
For everybody's understanding, you are, taking an action against what the Ministry of Health did. But you're also saying that doctors are on the ground taking care of patients largely out of empathy. And I'm saying then the strike that is being communicated to us is sort of a
full strike.
Like, it's a symbolic.
So for patients that were admitted before this action, you have an obligation to treat them. Okay. And like I added, as a physician, when you're trained, no matter the situation, when there is a dire emergency, you just can't turn your head away. You understand? But officially, we are not accepting like new patients coming in.
I have a critical patient attached with though. So if an emergency, an accident happens right now, and persons are brought to the facility, doctors will attend to them. Eugene.
Yeah, Doc, I want to do a couple of exercises. You are saying that the immediate cause of your current strike is the suspension of the CEO. Is that correct?
The immediate is the suspension.
Yes.
The minister's directive to suspend.
Is there someone listening to argue that then you are not being fair to your patient, whom you owe a duty of care because the facility just didn't get overcrowded. We didn't see a strike action. We didn't see a statement. But we did after the suspension of your CEO. Some will feel that it's just solidarity with your colleague, not necessarily about duty of care. How you respond to such a person?
Okay, thank you, Eugene. And I don't know whether you were listening to me from the very beginning. I said the strike is not about Dr. Breed. It is about medical practice, the ethics, the laws that bind our practice. So if I'm a leader, if I have to treat patient and I do what would save the patient's life, and it's considered to be wrong, first it means that our medical practice, we don't know what we are doing, because if the principle, internationally accepted principle, based on evidence that this is the way to go, and somebody uses that, and then another person who, excuse me, it's not a medic, decides that is wrong, it is an insult of the medical profession.
So Doc, if I get you, you are saying that the minister's administrative suspension of the CEO is not from a medical standpoint. Is that the issue?
Of course.
Okay, but someone will argue that the minister necessarily should not be a medic. They are the other.
Eugene, I think you are the argument where you are going does not even solve any problem.
No.
Whether the minister is a medic or not.
No, you introduce that thing.
Wait, whether the minister is a medic or not. That is why he talks about dialogue. That is why he needed to consult. Okay? That is why, you see, look, if you look at the first letter, he reacted to what he saw on social media. He didn't say, I consulted ABCD. So there is an issue at stake. Somebody will say, I mean, let's direct our focus on what is at stake.
No, Doc,
what do you want?
Doc, I'm coming on. So you see, you answered and said that the decision was not from a medical standpoint. And I'm giving you a further question. It was not me who introduced the minister not being a medic. You did.
Okay.
Now, my question I'm asking is that you may not have the benefit of the consultation the minister did or not. The accusation out there is that, one, your colleague has been suspended and we saw a strike. When the emergency was full, and the minister and the CEO had not been suspended, then we didn't see that statement from KATH. So that was the question I was asking you, because that is the perception out there that, oh, there's a solidarity for our colleague who has been suspended. But when the hospital was full, we didn't hear anything. So that's why I'm asking you that. It's not for me.
What were you expected to hear? That you're on strike because the place is full? I don't know what. I don't understand.
So the argument you're making was that when the emergency was full, maybe KATH doctors should have, issued a public statement, done interviews, to tell people that our emergency is before we get to the point where the announcement.
So you maybe following the whole thing. In fact, our PRO, in fact, his name is mentioned in one of the
statements.
Our PRO actually gave an interview on one of the media houses to tell public that this is what we have, and because of that, it's also to be investigated. So it's not like we just sat down. The public was made aware of what is happening and the steps taken together with the regional health administration, so that you don't come and wait. So if you are at Atonsu, go this place. If you are here, because we are in communication with the doctors to make sure everybody is safe. So it's just, how would you go on strike when you are seeing patients? So that is the chronology of events.
Do the doctors feel disrespected?
See, whether doctors are disrespected every now and then. I mean, anytime anything comes into the media, not doctors alone, health professionals, especially nurses and doctors, we get disrespected. That is not it's not the disrespect. It is principles. If you want to have a building and you have an architect and a plumber, who would you? You see, that is what we are saying. These are professionals working with evidence and principles. So if you say we are going to throw away principles and then go with people's mindset, it becomes difficult. It's difficult for us.
So just to follow up with what Eugene was saying, and I just want to base my next question, Junior, allow it, because of what he just said. Because earlier we mentioned dialogue, which also is captured in the statement that I'm holding right now. If we go into item 10 on the same statement, it says, the action is not intended to punish efforts aimed at protecting patients. So which means that the health ministry admits that the action you took is to help protect patients. So let me just read the statement. It says, the action is not intended to punish efforts aimed at protecting patients. Rather, it seeks to ensure accountability, proper communication, and adherence to national health policies and directives. So they agree that the facility needs help. They agree that you needed to take that action to protect patients. But they don't agree with the procedure, the communication.
Okay. So, Dave, I have no problem with that statement. You see, this whole scenario could have been handled differently. Why do you, let's say if the CEO was suspected, then it was in secrecy, we wouldn't have known. You see, he talks about communication, but how does he communicate? On social media. You don't communicate with.
So why didn't you wait for the 2 weeks that was meted out to the CEO to elapse before you come and say, okay, you're striking? Because this one says, listen, we understand you want to protect patients. We understand it's wrong to treat patients on the bare floor. Or we understand it's wrong to triage patients in ambulances and taxis and all that. We understand. But the way you communicated is where the problem is. So why couldn't you just say, okay, fine, let the investigation go on for the 2 weeks. Then you can come out and say, well, listen, after 2 weeks, there's a decision you guys took. We're not comfortable with it. Therefore, we're going on strike.
So, David, if we had, what we mean is, you see, the strike, that punishment shouldn't even come in the first place. But then, if on the hindsight you wanted to even do it, there are ways to go about these things. You see, what you tell the board to suspend the CEO, and after he suspended, to report to you. I mean, what was he trying to do? Now, if he comes back, any CEO anywhere, any leader in the health ministry, if you are treated like this, which power do you have? In the next, are we saying there are not going to be casualties again? There are casualties that will be coming. How does he want us to handle it? Or we should call the ministry and say that, oh, confirm not useful, so what do you want us to do? Do you know how long it takes? That's few few minutes to do that call. You see, we've been in leadership with how to handle these situations, and in the health system, that's what we call the errors. There are the blunt ones, and then like this ones, the pointed ones. The blunt ones are the policies. Look beyond the policy. There's a policy error in the whole situation. Why do I say it? How do we run the ambulance system? I told you about the bed management system. If there is a system to call confirmatory, because when your beds are full, you are flagged off. We have this policy system which are totally wrong. You've overlooked those ones. Now the critical point where it saved the person's life, that is where you want to target. That is just not right. Treat the whole thing. And in any way, if the decision was taken by a group of people, why are you singling out the
CEO?
Why not the regional health administrator?
That is what I was asking about. The board is that was in the known. I was asking about the regional minister that was in the known. I was asking about other directors that were in the known.
Yeah. So why the CEO?
But Doc, based on from where you said, before this letter came of the suspension, was the doctors at Confanoche consulted? Your group
Consulted about the suspension?
Yes, on the matter. Did the ministry make the effort
No.
to? Was the board consulted?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't know.
But from your point of view, the doctors were not consulted.
No, we're not.
Let's look at the bigger picture here. And it's all about patient care and what, as doctors, you have to work with. How bad is it? How is it impacting patient health care delivery? Because I come to the hospital to be treated, not to go back with complications and even death. What is the situation that you're dealing with?
So, David, anybody, I will start with the consulting rooms. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so I work in room 9. Because of space, we've had to use one consultant by 2 different units: surgery, orthopedics, and then the various divisions of surgery. So I'll have to wait till it's 2 o'clock. Then I'll go and see a patient. Any patient that has ever been to Confanoche consulting room, I will tell you, there is no privacy. Because you have one table with about 2 chairs, 2 for the doctors, nurses, and 2 chairs for the patient. Of course, there's something I want to tell the doctor, but there's this person here.
So the person is uncomfortable enough to speak.
You understand? We work through that. The management pushing forward to make sure, can we get other places within the Confanoche area where we can consult so that people will have their privacy. You realize that whatever happens, Confanoche sees patients from about 12 of the 16 regions in Ghana, and then
Neighboring countries?
the neighboring countries. And then in 2024, 2025, Confanoche was the place where ambulance visits. Confanoche alone. It was higher than in the hospital. So we have a limited space, yet a lot of patients come in.
Why do you think it's so? Why don't the patients who come into Confanoche use the peripheral facilities? What's the challenge?
So, well, there are a lot of issues with that. Some people don't even want to come to Confanoche anyway. You talk to people and they're like, no, to come to Confanoche, I'd rather go to a private hospital based on their experiences. People also,
because they can afford a private facility.
People are also of the view that I'll come to Confanoche because that's where you have the specialists. Okay, because they think if you go to the periphery, it's just maybe medical officers, non-specialists over there. And in our meeting with the RCC, that was one of the issues the regional health administration was looking at. To sensitize public that, look, the fact that we are being seen in Tafo does not mean we are being undertreated. And that's why we say that there are doctors, there are orthopedic surgeons who go to Offenso. Hitherto, cases that would have come to Confanoche from Offenso are operated there, like neurosurgical cases, orthopedic cases. Now they have a CT scanner. So it takes a burden from Confanoche. What we learned from the minister was the fact that 2 hospitals under that is the regional minister, another agenda 111. I think one at Fulcrum.
Yeah.
They want to.
I've been to Fulcrum. The facility is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's and I'm wondering why it's not operational as we speak.
Yeah. And the other thing is Sewa and then Aferi. And we were made aware that I think last week there's a contractor there making sure you operationalize these issues. So if you're able to, and then if you beef up Menchia, Sunfreso, our regional hospital, I mean, I always have a problem when I say our regional hospital.
It doesn't befit the regional hospital.
Okay. So if you're able to retool and revamp these hospitals, they'll take the burden of confoundation. So we our facilities like our gadgets, I told you about our CSSD. The CSSD is the center of our theater operation because that's what we use to sterilize our instrument. So if I can't sterilize my instrument, then it means the theater.
Has anybody come on admission at Confanoche, let's say the A&E for example, has died as a result of the Nobel syndrome? Has somebody come to the A&E, for example, and has gotten a worsened situation because the person was being treated on mats, on the floor? Because we work on the floor. We know it's a hospital facility. Yeah. You try to clean, yes, but people's feet have picked a lot of germs and all that. Tell us about that situation.
Okay. So there's been a lot of cross infections. I mean, like you came in maybe with a broken arm, then you go out with bad infections. There have been instances where, because of the overcrowded, people are not like you see somebody lying outside on a mat. It's pathetic. I mean, if you have ever been to A&E, let's say at night, and you see people they've not even gotten the chance to be seen yet, and we've lost some patients through that process because you have a lot seen. Somebody is lying somewhere, waiting to be seen, and by the time we got to that person, the person was gone.
He's dead.
Yeah. So it is, and the psychological effect it has on you. You see, most of the time people feel like, oh, doctors and nurses, when people die, we don't. You see, some can get you for months. Because, if I had this, imagine what you need for somebody to survive is oxygen. And you don't have oxygen.
So if I may just one quick, I just want to read a follow-up on this one.
Oh, no, before that, a follow-up. So, Doc, how many times have you guys sat in meetings where you've told the regional minister these issues? Because I've been there personally. There are accidents. And any time I go there, I came back and told David that I hope nothing takes me back to Confanoche. I'm one of the people who may never go there again. Because I don't understand. Because even I don't need to be a doctor to know that I'm in pain. I'm on student mattress on the floor. It just doesn't make sense. Is it that the duty bear don't come there to see, or you people have managed the tenor to the point that they think that you can manage it, you manage it? What's the truth?
So, in my submission, I've always said that your job, is to make sure you save lives. So you try as much as possible. Okay. Yes, you make do with what you have. We cannot say go. Where are you going? It's just not right to nurse patient. But do I say go? Where am I sending you to? So, and that is why the policy with the regional health administration is, look, let's do it in such a way that, yes, you've been stabilized, go to this place. You've been stabilized.
The reverse referral.
You understand? And it's something we had proposed over a long time. And then this is the time we've been able to, at least, put it through.
But again, I know of Adwa Safua, former Dom Kwabenya MB. She came there, she cried. She saw the facility, she saw the conditions under which some patients were, she cried. I know of the communications director for the MPP, Anyaba. He had an accident. He came there, he saw the conditions. I know of this current, health minister himself. He had an accident, he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was.
So it's like they themselves see the situation, they feel the situation, and yet they do much about it. And it hurts me to say this, that why do we have people who would want to travel out of the country to go seek medical attention? I say this all the time. The Speaker of Parliament wants to have a medical checkup. He goes out of the country. John Kuma was trying to get out of the country before he passed. But looking at the statement, what I wanted to arrive at again was this. The statement talks about key interventions undertaken by the ministry. And it talks about what it includes. So just tell me which ones Kofanoti has benefited from. So it says the continuous retooling of major hospitals to improve service delivery. Have you had any retooling?
Well,
it talks about, if I'm just let me go through. It talks about the introduction of a national bed management system to enhance patient referrals and bed allocations. Have you had bed management rolled out there? It talks about preparatory work towards operationalizing the National Emergency Center at Bemakam, that's for Accra. Efforts to complete and operationalize selected Agenda 111. We've heard about the fulcrum and Trede. The establishment of KATH labs, we know that that's going on because when I spoke to Dr. Labi last week, he mentioned it. What works have been done at Kofanoti that gives you satisfaction that at least this current health minister is doing something?
Well, so with the KATH lab, yes, but apart from that, I'm not privy to any documents that I don't know, maybe, but the management has. But I sit here as a doctor working in Kofanoti, an HOD of a unit, and then a member of KADA. I don't have any document.
As we speak, where are we also? Maybe you might not have information, but let me ask anyway. The Hidden Kofanoti project and the facilities that were being renovated, are work still ongoing?
Work is still ongoing. I know there are checks, like auditing processes, but work is still ongoing.
As we speak, it saddens me to say this, that you had discussions, you had a Zoom discussion yesterday to make a headway. Then the statement from the health ministry came to destroy everything. So what next? When are we going to have doctors fully back at work working?
So we are still in talks with our colleagues. We're still in talks. Yesterday, even up to about 3 a.m., I was still in talks with the board. The RCC are still in talks with us. We can just go back to our colleagues. We are doctors. And then it's not, nobody is happy we're on strike. No. You see, we always say that even when you take time to go on leave, you find yourself working. Because you program your body to be like that. So it's not easy for us to, but it's a decision that needs to be taken.
So what is the discussion you're having? That, okay, fine, Parkway is still on suspension, the facilities are not up to how we want it, but let's start work. What are you discussing in your meetings?
So we just have to go back. We just had a meeting last night. We just have to sit as an executive body of the CADA and then go back to our people, talk to them. I can't take a decision for the whole group, but if we...
But you're the chairman.
Yeah,
what you say carries a lot of weight as well, because you're leading them somewhat.
Yes, I'm the chairman, but I have, when everything comes to vote, I have a single vote. My opinions may be different. How I want this to be done may be different, but to be a good leader, I can't impose my feelings on anybody. Okay.
03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. The chairman for KADA, that is the Kofanoti Doctors Association, is with us. He's the man who signs all the the stuff that is released.
And takes all the heat.
You take all the heat, and he's been invited to Accra. Will you honor the invitation?
I have to.
You have to. Okay. Kofi Bedu, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Kofi, good to have you. Let's have you share your thoughts with us.
Yes, let me put on record that Kofanoti started becoming congestion since 2019. I was there 2019. That's why I lost my mom. 2024, and last year too I was there. So, let me put it here that I, Kofi Bedu, also known as Mahama Kandu, is completely disagree with the decision of the minister, the health minister, Kando. He got everything wrong. He said that the direction of the president is not to turn away any patient. The question here is, was any patient turned away at the emergency section? No, my information says that no patient was turned away. So his decision here tells you that he got everything wrong. And I respectfully disagree with him for the suspension of the CEO. Look, someone of the CEO, I agree with it because that will give the CEO the great opportunity to give a pictorial evidence to back the decision that he took. And tell the minister that we are treating patients on the floor. We are treating patients in chairs. And this will be reasonable enough for the decision that they took. In any case, I also, however, I disagree with the doctors' decision of going on strike because in this case, you punish those patients unnecessarily, those who have nothing to do with it.
All right, Kofi, thanks very much. And he says, as we speak, he says he has a rush from the studios because he has a surgery to go and conduct. He has to go and operate on somebody. So these are the same people who are saying that they are on strike. Huh? Nana Kwame, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, Nana. Let's hear you, sir.
David, the health minister, from day one that he was appointed, that is how he's been operating. When there is an issue here, he may take his time. You remember how he sacked the Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO? I stand to be corrected, but since his appointment, he's never stepped foot upon Fanochi to see how the place is. He sits in Accra, suspending people, doing whatever he likes. But David, the doctor said, I disagree with them and the nurses. What they are doing is blackmail. Are they going on strike in solidarity with their colleague doctor or the CEO? The CEO is a government appointee. What if the government sack the CEO right now? What should they do? The government or the minister had the power to appoint and also sack a CEO. So what they are doing, I disagree with them. Though I cannot is a square peg in round hole. He doesn't know anything. When you're aware.
So
do we have Douglas or Kofi?
I think next will be Kofi. But did Nana Kwame land on his submissions? Well, I don't know. Nana, if you didn't like, you can call us back. Kofi, good morning, and let's hear you.
Yes. Good. Meet me to say good morning to Aaron of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Sokoremampo. David, not too long ago, or let me say this, since John Mahama government took over, they have been talking seriously about patients being turned away for the no bed syndrome. In fact, they have spoken at length about emergency patients being turned away. Government is doing everything that they can to solve whatever issue there is. So, if a hospital like Kompanoche issued a statement that we are not taking emergency cases because our outfit is full, so people should go to the peripheral hospitals and the private hospitals and the rest. Is it not contrary to what the government has said? And if the government, the minister has invited the CEO to come and explain to him why they have taken that position, and the doctors and the nurses are saying that we are going on strike. For what reason? Is it not political? They are just doing politics just to sabotage the government. I don't get it. They should be mindful of the fact that they are doing this. They don't know that their extended family members may also go to a certain hospital and they will suffer. What kind of politics is that?
Right, so whether it's politics or not, Dr. Michael Leat will respond to that. But quickly, let me apologize to our listeners, out there, and of course to the health minister. That unfortunate comment was said by one of our callers that he doesn't know anything. That was unfortunate. It slipped through. Apologies. Douglas, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, let's have you share your thoughts with us, Douglas.
My motto, or what should I say? Pray for Ghana for recycling and regenerate our minds and attitudes. Why? I've been talking about this Agenda 111. It is a case for His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo to think outside the box after the COVID period so that he will build 111 hospitals to save lives, not to take it to his hometown, to save people's lives, Ghanaian lives. And in the Ashanti region, why? In the Ashanti region, better hospital to be attended to. The last time His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came to this office as president, he brought patients to Ashanti region. What is our problem? You get more than 697,000 votes in Ashanti region, more than voter region of your what do you call it? Your home ground.
So Douglas wants us to have the Agenda 111, projects completed, and of course we've been told by the regional minister. The voice insert is here. He says that they're working on it, and that in no time, Tepa or Furukrom would be, made operational. Let's speak to Kojo, who's also on the line. Kojo, you're going to be our very final caller for this morning. What's on your mind, Kojo?
Yeah. Good morning, Dave, and good morning to all your listeners.
Good morning, Kojo.
My first time of calling to the program anyway. Well, with respect to the health minister's suspension of the CEO, I don't see the head nor tail of the strike that has been called by the doctors and the nurses. The minister may have gotten some of the facts wrong or may have gotten the whole issue wrong. But you declaring strike action is going to affect patients more than the health minister. In any way, what's the effect that, or what do they want to achieve at the end of the day? Is it to ensure that the CEO is called back? The minister was the one who appointed the CEO. It was the president through the minister who appointed the CEO. So just in case they decide to sack the CEO today, what will the doctors and nurses do? Would they say because the CEO has been sacked, they won't resume work? Sometimes we get certain things wrong when we mix the whole issue with emotions. That's all that I want to say.
So much, Kojo, and it's more than enough. So what would you say your responses are? Some people say you're playing politics. Some people do not appreciate the fact that
I wouldn't
you're
want to
strike.
comment on the political bit.
But it's a concern they have. You need to address it for them.
Well, so that is the opinion. Okay, you see, we live in a country where every situation is politicized. They forget that doctors are also patients. We drive, we walk, we jog, we collapse just like anybody.
But for you, if something like that should happen to you, attach with when you get to the facility, they know you. Oh, this is Dr.
How do I get to the facility?
Somebody will take you. I mean, people are taking in ambulances, sometimes in taxis and all that. You would end up there when they see you.
So you don't know where I stay. You don't know where I stay and how long it takes for me to get to comfort. What we are saying, you see, he said we are only interested in the CEO solidarity. The minister does his appointment. Nobody has argued on that. But what are your reasonings for suspending? You see, people don't listen and they twist what we say. For what reason, I don't know. But principles are principles. We didn't go to school to we went through medical school, taught in a way, have postgraduate education, has gone through fellowships, gone out to study to how to be able to treat patients well. And if you put those things into practice and you see it to be wrong, then what do you want? You would just want us to say that. And it has nothing to do with Dr. Bedu. Okay. And then to say it's a blackmail. Okay. I've always said this. If you want to define health, it's a social well-being, financially, emotional. So if I'm emotionally not well, even in accident situations, ATLS protocol will tell you that you have to be safe before you can offer services to somebody. So where is the blackmail? I'm physically drained. I'm not working with the right resources. I've been able to make sure my patients are saved and nobody dies. I've not breached any whatever have been like. You can all listen to what the president said. It's on our platforms. And they shouldn't see doctors as, I don't know how the public sometimes want to
perceive you.
You see, the minister has been able to pitch the public against the doctor. It's always been like that. But yes, in as much as I'm fighting for my patient, I'm also fighting for myself.
So let me ask one question that has been on my mind for some time now. If within the next 1 hour, the health minister says, okay, we've rescinded our decision, Akuetteh is no more suspended, will you start work?
Yeah.
You start work.
Listen,
solidarity with him.
Listen, David. Then it seems, you see, we told you that there were 3 things we asked for. With the board and the, how do you call it, the RCC. Those other things are being looked at. The operationalization of Aferi. So if that would take time.
But what you said was that, to my question was that, if that suspension is lifted now, you go back to work.
So that is together with what we have achieved so far.
Okay.
No, David, we've achieved certain things. I wouldn't say the strike, we gave 3 instances that, look, we want this, rescind the decision. 2, look at where we are. What do we have to operate with? If there should be a guide, and the regional health administration, together with the RCC, has given a framework, and in fact, the Emergency Medicine Directorate of Confanochi, together with the RCC, are supposed to do that. Now, the regional minister tells us, look, with regards to this hospital, this is where we are. And that's why I said we had a fruitful discussion.
Up until the statement came through.
Yes.
And to wrap up our conversation, Leo, play that statement from the regional minister. And Doctor, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So as we speak, unfortunately, we're still at loggerheads. Yeah. We don't know when you're going to start work full time. Well, the strike is still ongoing.
It's still ongoing, but we want to assure the public that, look, it was a very difficult decision, and it shouldn't be seen as a solidarity strike.
Okay.
It is an industrial action which we seek to make sure that we are able to serve our patients well. We are also being treated well, that I'll be in the best frame of mind to see anybody who comes to Confanochi.
I'll be more than glad for you to fill me in as to when you meet with the Labour Commission, what transpires.
Okay, I'll do that.
You but share that voice from the Dr. Frank Amokohene, the regional minister, on say what Afari Ofurukrobenko as Doctor takes leave of us.
We are doing equipment installation. We have gotten some funds for the contractors so that they will do the finishing works in terms of the construction-related issues. The regional health directorate is also doing staff rationalization and deployment so that we'll be able to open it. As early as possible, we'll open it so that we'll be able to take off the pressure from Confanochi. Beyond that, we are planning on, or we are working on a concept where we could have reverse referrals. So, say Tamu Hospital could not manage the situation. They brought the person to Confanochi. We've been able to stabilize the patient for a certain number of days. Can we do a reverse referral so that the patient can stay in there and recover from there instead of adding to the numbers over here? And also looking at the concept where instead of referring patients here, can we refer our consultants there? Can we refer our residents there? So these are all issues we are looking at. So the health directorate is mapping out the region. After all these are done, we hold an engagement with the public and let them know that if you bring your patient to Confanochi and after assessment, you realize that you can let the patient go to, say, Tafun Municipal or say go to any of these district hospitals. It didn't look like Edward Bakasim and inside the report. And get to understand that it is all part of the coordination to make sure we are not congested. But most importantly, the president and the health ministry and the health minister, we are working assiduously on the Sewa Trader and Fruit.
Oh, Africa. Time to wake up from your slumber. Time to get up. Stand up for your rights. As the great spirits of Africa led our ancestors from time immemorial. And so, rise up, because the time is now. Africa, ho, ho, ho. Africans, my people. Africa, my continent. Oh, Africa, yeah. Africa, oh, oh, oh. Africa, my continent. Make you listen to me, yo, yo. What is happening? What is going on? 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 Yay! Ah, Kingiba. Sankomaje. Kingiba. Why the Africa, yeah. Africa, ho, ho, ho. Africans, my people. Africa, my continent, too. Africa, yeah. Africa, ho, ho, ho. Africans, my people. Make you listen to me, yo, yo. What is happening? What is going on? 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 Yay! Oh, yeah. All right, now listen, yeah. Too much corruption for Africa. Too much mental slavery going on in Africa. Oh, too much intellectual castration for Africa. Too much colonization going on in Africa. Oh, what is happening? What is going on? 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 Yay! Ah, all right. Now give me the juice.
So on the Super Morning Show right now, our colleagues are at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital. They are giving our team in Accra and by extension Love FM's listeners as well, information as to what is happening at the Confanochi